Good evening, Facebook and YouTube. This is Mark from Abolish Abortion NI. I'm just coming live to you tonight for a quick update on events that are happening at Stormont tomorrow and how important your input is into what is going to happen there and what's going to happen moving forward. So tomorrow, the Stormont Assembly will debate amendments to Clare Bailey's bill that will set up exclusion zones or buffer zones around abortion clinics and criminalise any kind of activity within those areas that could potentially influence somebody to not go and have an abortion. Now, it's very important that when we're talking about this bill, we highlight just how dangerous it is, not just to Christians, but in general. So anybody within one of these designated zones, which will be anywhere between 100 and 250 meters from an abortion clinic, can be criminalized if they do anything that has the potential to influence somebody to not go in to the abortion clinic. Now, this crime of influence is so vague in the bill that effectively anybody could be criminalized for any action whatsoever. So, for example, in Belfast city centre, where the abortion clinic is on a city street, where it's right in the middle of a shopping complex, we could have two people sitting at a cafe. There's a cafe next door to the abortion clinic that has outdoor seating. They could be sitting at the cafe, having a cup of coffee, discussing abortion, and those people could face criminalization. They will be criminals. We could have a mother standing with her newborn child outside an abortion clinic, doesn't even know it's an abortion clinic, and simply the fact that seeing that child could influence somebody to not go into the abortion clinic would turn that mother into a criminal. It is very difficult to define what this means, and therefore vast swathes of society face being made a criminal. Now, it's very important to realise that Clare Bailey herself was an abortion clinic escort previously, and she's been very careful with her bill not to criminalize people like herself. So those who hold a pro-abortion view and those who would want to force somebody into having an abortion outside an abortion clinic will not be criminalized. So someone standing with a sign saying, "We love you and we can help you, we can offer you support, please don't do this," will be a criminal, while an abusive boyfriend standing outside the abortion clinic and saying to a woman, "Go in there and kill your baby now," will not be a criminal. Now, for us, the biggest issue that we have with this bill is that it will criminalize Christian witness at abortion clinics. As abolitionists, we lobby for the total and immediate abolition of abortion. We want total and immediate criminalization of abortion in our law. We realize that is not going to be achieved overnight. So at the same time, we practice moral suasion at the abortion clinics. We plead with mothers and fathers who are carrying their children there to die. We plead with them to spare their child. We offer them support. We offer them anything that they need in order to stop them going through with that action. And we do it specifically because we are commanded to do it. In Proverbs 24, verse 11, God says to rescue those who are being led to death, hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. And that is why we go. And Christians within 100 meters, up to 250 meters of an abortion clinic, will now face criminalization for any Christian activity, whether they are singing a psalm or a hymn on the street, whether they are praying, whether they're handing out gospel tracts, or whether they are preaching. And it doesn't even have to be in connection with abortion. Simply being there and sharing the gospel within 150 to 250 meters of an abortion clinic will turn you into a criminal. So this bill has been proceeding through Stormont. At second stage back in October, there was a debate around the bill before it went to the Health Committee. One of the interesting things about that stage of the bill is that every single Ulster Unionist Party MLA, with the exception of Roy Beggs, who was the Speaker that day, voted in favour of this bill. So they voted in favour of a bill that criminalises Christians outside abortion clinics. Now, that was a bit of a surprise to us because the Ulster Unionist Party has historically have said that they have a conscience clause with regards to abortion, which means that they can vote in line with whatever they believe their conscience is telling them is correct with regards to abortion. But since they've had a change of leadership, since Doug Beattie took over, I think people in general have seen a kind of lurch to the left as they try to attract more people who are going to be voting for the Alliance Party, who again have lurched to the extreme left, and Doug and the new Ulster Unionist Party are trying to snaffle up some of those voters. So every single MLA voted in favour of this exclusion zone bill. And when we spoke to some of them afterwards, some of them said to us that they were whipped. They were basically forced to vote in favour of the bill despite their misgivings, because if they didn't, and if they went against the party whip, they would be thrown out of the party. So this raises huge questions, first of all, about where do the Ulster Unionist Party now stand on abortion? Where do they stand in terms of their conscience clause? Is their conscience clause gone? And do all MLAs in the Ulster Unionist Party now have to vote in a pro-abortion way? And make no mistake, voting in favour of Clare Bailey's exclusion zone bill is a pro-abortion, anti-Christian stance. And you can prove that very quickly, very easily, by simply having a look at the responses to the Committee for Health's call for evidence on the bill. And they received 16 responses from organisations that identify as either abolitionist, pro-life, or Christian, or a mixture of all of each of them. And these organisations were Abolish Abortion NI, Auntu Dairy, Both Lives Matter, CARE, the Christian Institute, Donegal Catholic Association, the Evangelical Alliance, Free Presbyterian Church of Ulster, the Irish Catholic Association, Leixlip Pro-Life Group, Precious Life, the Presbyterian Church in Ireland, Pro-Life Campaign, SPUC, and St Anselm's Pro-Life Group. So these 16 groups wrote to the Committee for Health, and every single one of them opposed this bill. Every single one of those Christian groups or pro-life groups or abolitionist groups oppose Clare Bailey's bill. And when you look at the groups who don't oppose it, you've got the likes of Alliance for Choice, the pro-abortion advocacy group. You've got other pro-abortion groups from all across the UK, all supporting this bill by their written submissions. So if the Ulster Unionist Party are going to vote in favour of this bill, they are aligning themselves with the likes of Alliance for Choice and the University of Ulster Pro-Choice Society and ARC and all these other pro-abortion groups. They're aligning themselves with them, and they're aligning themselves against Christians, pro-life people, and abolitionists. So this is a very important bill tomorrow, very important debate, and it is going to allow us to see where a number of the parties stand. As I said, the Alliance Party have lurched to the left long ago. They claim to have a conscience clause on abortion. It's a load of rubbish. Nobody is falling for that anymore. They have a bunch of extremists lined up for the next election campaign, and we'll be doing a bit of work on that. But we're now starting to see the same happening with the Ulster Unionist Party. So what we need you to do is contact them urgently. Tell them that you're aware that this debate is coming up. You're aware that that amendments are going to be tabled tomorrow and debated on tomorrow, and that you would like them to vote in a certain way. So first of all, we would like them to vote in favour of the amendments that have been tabled by Jim Allister, MLA. He has tabled amendments that will kill the bill. It removes all of the clauses. So vote in favour of Jim Allister's amendments, and vote against all other amendments that have been tabled, including one amendment which takes away all defence from the bill. So previously, someone was able to say, listen, officer, I'm sorry, I didn't realise I was outside an abortion clinic when I was preaching, or I'm sorry, I didn't realise having a discussion about abortion while having a cup of coffee could cause somebody not to go to the abortion clinic. There was a defence to be able to say, I didn't realise that's what I was doing. That is, Clare Bailey has tabled an amendment to strip that from the bill tomorrow, so that no matter what, regardless, there is no defence, there is no ability to say, I didn't know what I was doing here, I didn't know I was in this place. You will be criminalised. So tell them you want them to vote in favour of Jim Allister's amendments, vote against all other amendments, and tell them that you will be watching closely what they do. Remember, we have an election coming around the corner, and there's some of these MLAs in the Ulster Unionist Party are going to stand on your doorstep and openly tell you that they are pro-life. Very simply, someone claiming to be pro-life cannot vote for a pro-abortion bill and cannot support a pro-abortion bill. So remember what they're doing. We're going to try and live stream the whole of the session tomorrow, and at times we'll hopefully be able to jump on and give a little bit of commentary on some of the contributions that are made in the Assembly. But call, email your Ulster Unionist MLAs, be polite, be courteous, tell them to vote for Jim Allister's amendments and vote against all other amendments. If they ask any questions, tell them to look at the briefing paper that we have sent to them, or contact Abolish Abortion NI, and we can talk them through anything that they want over the course of tomorrow. But we need you to continue to call and email. Below this post, in the heading for this post, there is contact details for every MLA. There's a phone number for them too. Phone their office tonight. They may have a voice machine, a message that you can leave a message on. Leave a message telling them to vote for Jim Allister's amendments and against all other amendments. Follow that message up tonight with an email. Their email addresses are there, and then tune in tomorrow as we run coverage of the debate in the Assembly Chamber, and take notes. Take note of what your MLA tomorrow votes for. Take note if you've been voting for them because they say they're pro-life. Take note if they vote in favour of Clare Bailey's bill and against Jim Allister's amendments. This is an incredibly important bill. If this bill is allowed to continue, children will die. It is as simple as that. So take 5 minutes, send an email, pick up the phone, leave a voicemail on their office number, and tune in tomorrow afternoon when we'll be running all of the events at Stormont Live.